building an intentional workplace culture does require more than good intentions, of course. So I'd love to know, what does intentional mean to you, and how does it show up in your company's policies or day-to-day operations?
I think that's a really great point. I think the thing to understand about building a great workplace culture is it does not happen by accident. You
Hmm.
can't just look the other way and expect a great culture to just manifest itself. You do have to be very intentional, and you have to put in place a lot of policies and procedures to support that culture. And you have to work on it every single day. And I do a whole presentation on workplace culture, and I can provide a lot of tactical strategies and things to do. But at the end of the day, they all come down to a couple of key practices that you can do. So I think the first thing is to listen and be available. So we do a lot of different engagement strategies. We do four formal ones throughout the year. And the one that's my favorite is our town halls. So we take the time to meet with every single employee twice a year in small groups, and we ask them questions and we hear their feedback, and people are very open. But you can do that in a lot of different ways. And I've done many leading edge presentations on culture, and I've heard from senior living providers directly that they're actually doing this. They're coming in every shift, their CEOs coming in and meeting with their employees. So it's definitely doable. So I think being available, being able to listen and have employees feel like they can come to you is really critical. But you have to follow that up with the second part, which is accountability. So you
Yeah.
have to take the feedback you're hearing and show what you're actually doing about it and the progress you're making on it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking too, it's like that's awesome. And I love that because a lot of companies have year in reviews where once a year you do your performance review. Maybe at that point you get feedback, but you actually flip the script and say, no, we actually want feedback from you. So it's like you're empowering your employee. They feel like they have a voice at the table. But one thing I'm thinking about is, how do you be honest, right? Like you see posts on social media where it's like a spoof and it's like me deciding how honest I'm going to be with my feedback or that type of thing. How do you put metrics in place or measures in place for people to give you that honest feedback?
I think it goes hand in hand with building your culture. So you build the culture that you want to have, and I think you can do all the things. You can do the engagement and you can do the accountability, you can do the listening. But if you have people on your team that aren't going to participate and are not a good fit for your culture, they need to not work at your company. And I
Hmm.
think that's something that people hesitate with. And I think firing is one of the most important parts of building a great culture, because you can have people that can make the whole thing toxic.
Mm.
And, I think that, as you're building that culture of transparency and accountability and collaboration, the people that are not going to participate in that, they either end up leaving on their own or it's a mutual parting of ways, I feel like.
Yeah, that can be a really hard thing. So you mentioned EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. They have a concept called right people, right seat. So that
Mm-hmm.
helps with making sure that people are going to be those people who are going to be in that right seat and be good for your culture.